because I just couldn't believe what was coming out of these people's mouths. Honest to God, I couldn't believe what I was coming out of these.
Well, here's the thing, Anton, just for me to interject quickly here, she didn't believe it either. When she said, you're approaching a 10, she looked at the guy, he smirked like, bruh. And then she said it again, you approaching a 10, and then nervous laughter or awkward laughter. It's like, you don't even believe that. You don't think you're a 10.
There you go. Talk to him. Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
The live reaction video, I'm an older 10. And this, again, is on Anton Daniels' channel. All right, let's see what they talking about.
You know, it's a lot of average dudes out here expecting this king treatment from us queens. A lot of guys out here, they are a 6 or 7 at best. And they feel like we're supposed, first of all, you're approaching a 10. You're approaching
All right, so off the rip, I'm not going to waste no time because I'm not sure how much Anton going to talk on this one. I haven't watched this. This is fully an authentic reaction. So off the rip, there's no 10s sitting here. There's no 10 sitting here. That woman isn't a 10. This gentleman, compared amongst other men, would not be a 10, right? Because a 10 is like the top of the top. Some people say a 10 is perfect. I don't look at it that way. I just think that puts you in the highest bracket that you could be in. There's always going to be a pool of people, but the higher up you go, the smaller the pool gets. There's no 10s sitting there. You can have your own opinion of yourself, but when it comes to talking about the dating market, the opinions of the opposite sex are what your true rating is. You can feel how you want. Self-esteem is awesome, but the opinions of the opposite sex are what are your true rating in the dating market. So just off the rip, this woman is operating in delusion. Let's take it from the top. Let's go.
I know that's right. You know, it's a lot of average dudes out here expecting this king treatment from us queens. A lot of guys out here, they are a 6 or 7 at best. And they feel like we're supposed, first of all, you're approaching a 10. You're approaching a and then you want them to treat you like you're a 10. So tell me, Melita, what do you think about that? Especially, and I would say this is probably more prominent over 45. When you're dating over 45, these men got gout. They got a bad knee.
She is going hard, y'all.
That gout. They got a bad knee. Yes. They sleep with a CPAP machine. They do. I've been there, done that.
Question. What is a CPAP machine?
No,
somebody in the comments let me know what a CPAP machine is so I can better understand and then communicate and speak to this whole situation.
I'm just saying, you are a 7 at best, boo. And then you want to tell me, oh, you need to do this. And you got me straight. Tripping. Because at the end of the day, think about it. When we're in our 40s, we can date the daddy or the son. They honest. So why pick the daddy when we can date the son?
Yes.
Clearly, these.
All right, wait. Before Anton gets into his rhetoric, I looked up the CPAP machine for y'all. Okay, so a CPAP machine, a CPAP, continuous positive airway pressure. It's a machine delivers a steady stream of air pressure to the airways through a mask, keeping them open during sleep. This is a primary treatment for sleep apnea, a condition where breathing pauses or shallow breaths occur during sleep. So it's a breathing machine that people use during sleeping is what they're talking about. All right, so we got comments before we get into Anton's rhetoric. JD says 2-a-days, man, yeah. The summer just started, all for sure. We going back to back with the lives today. Matter of fact, we got 3 of them. I got to do the sports live too. Then we got JD said some comfortable brother with his sexuality, not crazy, very palpable content, brother. Oh, for sure. Okay. Breathing at night machine if you have sleep apnea. Okay, so he was explaining what the CPAP is. Appreciate you coming through, bro. Appreciate your activity in the chat too. Let's see what Anton has to say about this.
These people are delusional, and I don't know where they from. I don't know where they get the information from. I don't know why the guy that's sitting here in the middle is not stopping her from crashing out. And sometimes I know it sounds like a good idea for you guys to start a podcast, but sometimes you just got to put the podcast equipment down, and you don't want to do this because not one person on this panel is a 10 or a 9 or 8 or 7, and I'm going to just leave it at that.
Listen to me. I didn't even see this before. Anton, my Zodiac brother, also born in April. Again, I'm not big on the astrology thing, but I think there is some shit to it. I do think there is something to it. I'm not going to base all our behaviors and thought processes on what month and day and time and the moon alignment. I'm not going to do that. But there's something to it. Because I just said this and I never watched this. I didn't watch this. I watched probably 15 seconds of this before I decided I'm going to use this for my reaction today. But let them cook.
Most of us, and when I say most of us, I'm speaking overwhelmingly the majority of us. I know that confidence is key. God bless you with that. I know that people feel like they bad as hell. God bless you with that. But I'm telling you that 99.89% of us are regular, everyday people, including the people that is on this panel. So when they speak, they're speaking not from experience, they're speaking from delusion. Most of us is regular people. Very rarely do you come across a person that is just a 10 across the board, especially from a woman's perspective. I don't care if you get a BBL. I don't care if you get your lips done. I don't care how many extensions you get in your hair. Very few people are just born aesthetically a 10. And I know that it's all subjective, but I'm telling you just straight up. Real talk. And I want to hear the rest of what they got to say, but I had to first address the delusion. What are you talking about? You could have dated the daddy or the son. Honest to God. And I'm not about to sit here and go back and forth. And I'm also not going to be the person that sit here and try to tear people down, because I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? I think that in my older age as a 43-year-old man, which I don't even know anything about gout, I don't know nothing about CPAP or C-SPAN or whatever it is that she's talking about. But the reality is that most people are just regular, everyday people. So they're not qualified to speak on this situation from the lens, and don't get me wrong, anybody can have their opinion, but from the lens of a person that is critical of a man and saying that he's not a 10 and he's a 7 at best. These are people that's just stealing talking points from the internet. It's not relevant to the conversation. And yes, a man should have dominion. That is a manly trait. If you cannot subject yourself or submit to a man, then that means that you are not qualified to be in a relationship and you're not qualified to be a wife. Most of these people are remixing what it means to be a wife. And all I see, just purely based off of the communication and what she's saying, is a woman that has been ran through. Hear me out. The only thing that I see right now, based off of what has been communicated, I'm not going based off of looks. I'm not going based off of mindset. I'm not going to be overly critical of all of that. I'm just going to tell you that very rarely do you walk into a 10, number one. And then number two, the mindset tells me that this is a woman that has been around the block for a few years. And if you are above the age of 40 and you have not had a life circumstance like becoming a widow or something like that, chances are, A, you're a single baby mama. And B, that means that, in the words of my dog 2K, you ain't never found a guy that believed in you. Don't let these delusional women trick you into thinking that just because they getting bust down or that they can get a date from a man that they like, that qualifies them to be a wife. If they have not been wifed up, then that tells you that they are red flag 100% of the time. Let me see if it's any more to mine out of this. I can't believe y'all sent me this. And I always like to link back to the content creator in the description. In the beginning, I had to take my glasses off to make sure I was seeing what I thought I saw and that I was hearing what I thought I was hearing, because I just couldn't believe what was coming out of these people's mouths. Honest to God, I couldn't believe what I was coming out of these.
Well, here's the thing, Anton, just for me to interject quickly here. She didn't believe it either. When she said, you're approaching a 10, she looked at the guy. He smirked like, bruh. And then she said it again. You approaching a 10, and then nervous laughter or awkward laughter. It's like, you don't even believe that. You don't think you're a 10. You don't think that. Like, you talking on the internet, and again, above the truth, above reality, when it's time for a woman to speak, she care about what sounds best. above all. If she gotta bend the truth, make a lie, curb reality, delusion, whatever it gotta be, they're not gonna say nothing vocally that doesn't sound optimal when it comes to referencing themselves. The women who practice objectivity are generally going to end up being a wife. So I just wanted to add in, she don't believe what she said. You could tell, body language, all that. Let's go.
These people's mouth.
I agree. I agree. She is funny. I agree. I feel like dating over 45, 40, 50, whatever the case may be,
Don't do it,
is
baby.
like shopping on a clearance rack. Like,
Ooh, not clearance.
yeah.
Not a clearance rack.
Not no show rack.
Boy, they dragging us. They dragging
You
us
gotta
through
find
the
the
mud
gem,
up ahead.
the diamond in the rough. You gotta find that one piece that it's hard to find. I really honestly feel like
These people's crazy.
dating over 45 and to what you said, you're a 10 and you have these.
All right, let's get this out in the open. Anton 43, he on his nice guy journey. I'm not. Okay, I'm not 43 and I ain't on no nice guy journey. You get to 45, single, never been married, no failed marriages, no widowship. You get to 45 single and you still dating. You failed, first off. You hit the wall, secondly. And third, you're not fit to be a wife. By 45 years of age, if you are a woman who has the mentality, the mindset, and you've kept yourself up physically a little bit, somebody would have wifed you already. So for whatever reason, you could be someone who has such a high self-esteem or opinion of yourself that nobody ever qualifies for you, right? You're unsatisfiable. You can't be satisfied. You will never be appeased. You haven't run into a man that was enough, right? There was always something missing, something lacking, and it was probably always him, right? These are the symptoms, the language that women who are going to be chronically single and chronically date, this is the language that these women speak. Again, I emphasize to you guys, women who are going to be chronically single and chronically dating until they pass away, eventually alone, speak a different language from women who are already wives or fit to be wives. They speak totally different. They think totally different. They value and view men totally differently. We are listening to women who are not fit to be wives, hence the fact that they are not, because you don't get to that age being totally fit to be a wife. There's a box you're not checking, which is why nobody's pulling up and trying to lock it in. That's just the reality of the situation. Let's roll.
Men that are 7s, 5s, 4s. It's
Where are these women thinking that they 10s at? What is going on? Who fucked up the game and told these people that they are 10s? How is this being communicated? What is happening right now? Why do people think that they 10s just because they on here or they light skin, whatever? And again, I'm not about to sit here and criticize. I'm not going into that. I'm not doing it. I'm too old and too mature as a 43-year-old man to sit here and go back and forth. But what the fuck is they talking about when you're a 10? This is what? Yo, we need to recalibrate these evaluation scales.
a lot.
Maybe it speaks to the ratio.
Look at him. He just looking.
They feel empowered by that.
No, let them know. Let them know.
I'm just saying.
But listen, look at the brother though. Let's just read the room. Let's just read the room here in this reaction video. Let's read the room. You got a group of women that are over 45, as they expressed. You got a group of women here that are over 45. Shout out to Mr. McBride. Shout out to the Correct Me If I'm Wrong podcast. What's going on, brother? Glad to see you in here today. You got a group of women here over 45 years old, all single, all have, all unmarried, right? And you got a brother here who does not have a wedding band on his finger either. And he's letting these women spew this rhetoric. I don't care if you're shooting a podcast. You got a role in that podcast, just like them women got a role in that podcast. Speak up, bro. But your lack of speaking up is probably why you sitting there without a wedding band on yourself. Because why you friends with all three of them? One of them supposed to be your wife, dog. But they not fit to be wives and you not fit to be a husband. You got 4 people here who have been unsuccessful at securing life partnership, lifelong companionship, You know what I'm saying? Talking about how messed up the dating market is. It is not the dating market, ladies and gentlemen. It is not the dating market. I got to tell you the truth. Let me get back front and center for y'all. I just wanted to show y'all what we dealing with here. So it's not just, see, we like to put certain shit on younger generations or middle generations. This shit go all the way up to right before you die. This malarkey the delusion and the acceptance of delusion goes all the way up into the 70s now. These people sitting here at 50 years old, you know, menopausal, talking about how the men got to sleep with machines and you having hot flashes. So what's the difference? Let's have a real conversation. Let's get into some shit. What's the difference? You clearly have taken 4 decades of playing your hand wrong when it comes to the relationship side of things. You might have got your bread together. You might have had you some kids, you know, some babies, and you might have them straight. You might have some young adults walking around. You might have did good in other areas of life. But when it comes to securing lifelong companionship, you failing. If you reach 45 and you still ain't locked it in, you done made some missteps. Everybody's journey run different. You might not lock nothing in until 50. You might not lock nothing in until 55. But it don't mean that you could sit on a podcast and escape ownership for the reason why that's the case. We're not going to do that, right? I just don't like seeing people operate in delusion in front of other people, and then the people that sit there, they just roll with it. They just roll with it. It's like y'all see me getting stomped out by 12. And then y'all pull out y'all camera phones instead of pushing one of them up off me. You see what I'm saying? Somebody got to intervene for the sake of progress. Let's go though. Let's see what else they talking about. Somebody got to intervene for the sake of progress. Let's go.
I think it's a balance. I feel like when you're at a certain space in your life, you know what I mean? Like I've been divorced. I've been married most of my life, and you're in a certain space. You don't expect or want less than, or your standards and your boundaries are different. So I personally feel like it's a lot.
Hold on. Y'all correct me real quick. I want to do some math. What's less than? Okay. So let's do it like this. What's less than? Let's go off what she just said. She got a husband. She said she had been married for the most of her life, right? So let's say her scale is up here. Her husband operating right here. So she feel like she got less than. Okay. Take the husband out altogether. What you got now? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Simple math. Your standards right here. You've been married most of your life. This man met your standards at some point. Y'all been working on things. Y'all done got so far. My bad. My fingers crooked. I played a lot of football, right? So your standards right here. Bet. Your husband right here. You feel like because you getting less than, we just gonna remove them all together. Now what you got? Just nothing at all. What is this mentality of shit? Fuck it, I'm gonna just run back to the streets. What is that? What is that? Somebody tell me in the comments. Chat, tell me what is that? Shit, fuck it, I'm gonna just run back to the streets. What's in the street? And then y'all complain about the streets. Ain't nothing in the streets. You complain about the man you had. You complain about the streets. Show me what satisfied looks like. Not in a fairy tale. In real life. Show me what satisfied look like. You complain about the husband you had. You complain about the streets. Where's your happy medium? Let's let her talk. Let's let her talk. We just gonna let her talk. We're gonna let her put her lips together and open them up and put them back together. We just gonna let her talk.
A lot. It's been
I don't even know if you can be a 10 above the age of 40.
You can't.
I ain't talking about them. I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm.
challenging, trying. It's been a lot.
Well, but I mean, I'll help you out there, Melinda.
Yes.
I think a lot of times they expect once you reach a certain age that you're supposed to compromise and settle. And you hear that word a lot. They say, oh, you're 45, you're 48. Just take what you can get. As if you don't bring a lot to the table. Think about it for a second. As women, there's so much we have to do. You know, men, they put on a black tee, some jeans or sweatpants and sneakers, and they out the door. You know, they take their little bald head. We getting hair, makeup, eyelashes, nails, waxing. We got the whole situation.
So basically, they putting on a costume.
Yeah.
They getting their whole costume together.
Yeah.
And we have to do only to present ourselves to someone who's subpar. That's crazy. And then to say that we should reduce ourselves down because of the ratios, as they say. But when you talk about the ratios, we should really talk about quality women versus quality men. Because there's a lot.
Man, listen, man, I ain't never seen a prize don't nobody want to win. He said she out of pocket, all the way out of pocket. You sitting here at 50 years old and alone talking about how ain't nobody good enough for you. I never seen a prize nobody wanted to win. You been on earth 5 decades, ain't locked nothing down. And you gonna tell us it's by your choice. Okay, well then, listen, let them crash out. Y'all know my motto. Y'all know my motto. Far as I'm concerned, we looking at a whole panel full of
natural born crash dummy. And he go crash out. He go crash out.
Let him crash. Let him crash. Why not? Let him crash. You listen, baby. You closer to the end than the beginning. It's over with. Let them crash. You could listen. They could sit on these pods and complain all they want. That's why that's what this whole thing is about. When I say cracking the codes, right? I want people to align themselves with reality. No matter how hard that is to do. There are some harsh things that we have to accept about reality. But if you align yourself with reality, right? That's a map. Reality is a map. Let's look at it like that. Reality is a map, right? Follow me right quick. So if you align yourself with reality, then that means you have the real grid in front of you, the real map. You can accurately chart your course. You can accurately chart your course. You can put your destination in your GPS. It's working off of the real map, and it can give you 3-4 options to get where you're trying to go. If you just align yourself with reality. When you align yourself with delusion, though, all of the navigation leads you to the wall. Straight into the wall. Bah! And what we watching and what we witnessing every day on YouTube, every day on TikTok, we witnessing people smash the gas and they running full speed into the wall. They doing 200. 200. They everywhere. The crash outs are everywhere.
Natural born crash dummy.
You see what I'm saying? Just crash dummies. But let them continue. Why not? We almost there. Let them finish.
A lot of women out here, but you, Marcel, you know they ain't shit.
I'm really
Quality.
just taking this all in. I mean, I'm not going to I can't really elaborate on, because I think, from Dawn's perspective, though, the question is, what is she saying? Like, what's that standard there, right? I don't, what she considers to be a 7 to whoever could be a 10 to someone else. So I think that right there kind of mixes the bowl. That's the first thing, right? Because where you are in your life, that's going to create your standard. That's one. Again, born here in the DMV, District, Maryland, Virginia, for you guys that are national, it's just what it is. It's just kind of like in Atlanta. It's going to be the ratio issue. It's going to be way more women than guys. I wouldn't want to be a female in that situation, because it does lend to some of the things that you hear Dawn speaking to. Like, you're just going to have guys that are willing to take a shot because they already know that, listen, like, if I see it, whatever, we can say a 10 is whatever somebody's perspective is, but that guy sees a 10, he feels emboldened to take the shot because he has nothing to lose. First of all, like, that's just what it is.
Yo, you are what you attract. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Also, teach him.
All right, we got what we need, y'all. Make sure y'all tap in with Anton Daniels. Y'all know I'll put the link in the description for his channel in the edited version of this video, as I do for all of the content creators that I react to, man. So shout out to him. That was the live reaction for today, and that was about being an older 10. Y'all let me know, is there such thing as an older 10? I don't think a woman that's 45 years old could be a 10 to me unless I'm 45 years old, or unless I'm in her age range, right? If I'm 42 to 50 and she 45 and she look good, I might look at her as a 10 to me as an older man. But in general, amongst men, a young man not looking at her as a 10. He looking at her as smashable or not. He not saying, I think the max number a 45-year-old could be is an 8. That's the plateau. You can't even hit 10 at 45 unless I'm also around your age or older. If I'm 60 and you 45 and fine, yeah, it's a dime to me. But if I'm 36 and you trying to cougar down, you feel me? I'm like, all right, do I want to do it or not? But I'm not looking at you like a dime piece. And I'm damn sure not looking at you like a catch. I'm just not. The amount of experiences that come with a 45-year-old woman, that's not no catch, folks. It's catchable. But is it a catch? You know what I'm saying? So that's it for the reaction for today. We finna move around on that.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether